healthcare, and a bipartisan infrastructure bill that was passed on August 10, 2021, I'm sure you already know how it affects us in healthcare. Don't you? Come on. You don't? Don't worry. Come on back. I'll tell you all about it. On Tuesday, August 2021, the Senate passed by a whopping majority, the vote 69 to 30, a bipartisan infrastructure bill awarding $1.2 trillion. That's quite a significant amount of money. How does it affect us in healthcare, and why am I even talking about it? My name is Dr. Tess Washington, board certified physician and surgeon. On this channel, we discuss the optimization of your looks, love, wealth, and health. Today, the topic is mainly going to be on wealth/health. This bill affects us in healthcare in 4 major categories. I'm going to elaborate on those categories and stay to the end because I bring it all together and I make it all make sense and I make it all relevant. I think that you all would agree in medical school, we weren't taught much about business or finance or money management. And initially, that didn't seem like it would affect us that much. However, no one anticipated the economy to change as it has. I would like to discuss the infrastructure bill and present it in kind of a layman's term so that we can all relate and see how this matter is important to us, and also point out the necessity that we have to figure out some kind of a way to incorporate this kind of a jargon and these kind of news-breaking events into our daily regimen. We no longer should just be putting our heads down, saving lives, and not paying attention to what's going on around us, because the things that are going on around us are significantly affecting us and our children and our grandchildren. This bill is the largest infrastructure bill that was passed since the railroad system infrastructure bill that was passed in 1956. That's a big deal. And behind this $1.2 trillion, there's another bill that's tentatively going to be passed for $3.5 trillion. There's estimated to be a spending of approximately $7 trillion. Now, even though the bill was passed, some lawmakers are a little bit concerned because they feel like, where are we going to get the money from? It's called pay for. Now, I'm going to pause. A lot of this terminology I'm just learning, and I want us to grow as financial, intelligent, literate minds together. And if there's some people who are following me who are very, very comfortable in this space, come on down. Let's do a shared screen. Let's do an interview. And you can help me to make this something that healthcare providers discuss on a regular basis. Now, this, from what I understand, is a very helpful bill. It's going to help a lot of people. And I promised you guys earlier on that I was going to point out the 4 main ways that I feel like it's going to help us, immediately speaking, in medicine. In the description box, I will link the actual bill. And in your spare time, when you're not reading for my TestMD's Monday Night Book Club, you could go ahead and read the whole 2,702 pages. I have not read it, but I have read snippets, articles, information to make me feel comfortable to discuss what I'm about to elaborate upon at this time. How will it affect us in healthcare? In other words, what monies will go towards healthcare to make us say, yay? Number 1, $50 billion of the bill, 55 billion, my bad, 55 billion is going to go towards cleaning up the water system. A lot of pipes. Over 6 million families in the United States still have lead pipes. This bill is giving $55 billion to allowing us to get new pipes. A second area is with climate change. $50 billion of the bill is going to go towards helping with regards to the climate change. How does climate change affect us in healthcare? The hurricanes, the windstorms, the tornadoes, the fires. which leads to increased rush into the hospital, people having strokes and heart attacks because they're being affected by all the different things that are going on around them. Homelessness increases the amount of people who require health care. And by this bill contributing $50 billion towards climate control, it will help to decrease the pressure on healthcare secondary to climate control. Number 3, this bill is going to contribute money to help increase the strength of broadband. What was realized during COVID is the broadband strength was not strong enough to get to some rural areas. And as you guys know, we had to swiftly pivot to telehealth because isolation, shelter in place, most clinics were closed. There were only 1/3 of the population in Montana that was able to even get telehealth. So this infrastructure bill is contributing money to strengthen the bandwidth so that no one will have to go without telehealth services. Rural areas, Montana, I love Montana. As a matter of fact, I'm licensed in Montana, but I digress. Number 4, cybersecurity. All of our medical records are online, and the hackers are just having a ball. My mother just got a text message and she asked me, should she respond? Somebody texted her and said that her driver's license was in jeopardy of being suspended. But if she provided them with her social security number, her birthday, I said, "Ma, you don't do that." So cybersecurity is going to be increased, which will help to protect some of our people who are susceptible and great prey to the cyber predators and the hackers. Now, there are many other ways that this infrastructure bill is going to contribute positively to healthcare. But I'm just pointing that out to you guys to show you that things that are going on in the news, they pertain to us, and we need to pay attention and we need to be aware. Some of the senator lawmakers are concerned because they're like, who will pay for this? They use this word pay for. In other words, they're like, look, you guys want to come up with $1.2 trillion, then another $3.5 trillion, but we ain't got no money. We are already at a national deficit of nearly $30 trillion, and it's just going to add on another $7 trillion. Some of the proposed ways that this bill is supposed to pay for itself, the money is not there yet. It is hypothesized. I'm just going to look down very briefly to look at my notes because I jotted down a few of the ways that this bill is hypothesized to be paid for. COVID relief funds. There were $200 billion of COVID relief money that wasn't spent. So they're saying, hey, we could just use that $200 billion and then we could just use that towards the balance on this $1.2 trillion. Well, the problem that the senators have with that is like, wait a minute, we didn't spend that money, but we were supposed to use that money in the future. And one of the other areas that I researched stated the senators are like, how are you going to use that money? The money isn't there. So let's just go to the land of make-believe with Mr. Rogers and what was his name? The King Friday. King Friday in the land of make-believe. Here we go. So they're like, how are we going to use some money that doesn't exist? Some other areas that are considered paid for, I feel smart about saying that, some paid for monies, because the senators were like, it's not paid for. And they're like, well, we got to pay for. But from what I understand, the document has a bunch of asterisks in the pay for. Some of the other pay fors, a proposed reporting requirement for a cryptocurrency, pension smoothing, a pilot program. Check this out, guys. There's supposed to be a pilot program where we will have to pay for the miles driven in our vehicles, which means that the government will be aware of where we're going, how far we drive, how long it takes to get there. That's I'm going to try to make this talk as unbiased as possible. So that's one of the proposed ways. Strategic Petroleum Reserve. And another whopping $50 billion is supposed to be used towards reimbursement for this infrastructure bill by the drug manufacturers for vouchers that weren't used, just different things. And some of this initiative was set up during the time of Donald Trump. The problem that the senators have is, okay, that all sounds good, but hey, we got a better idea. How about we wait till we get the money before we spend the money? And I'm going to stop for a moment and I'm going to tell a story as to how I can relate to this in my own practice. When I bought my first laser, I was so excited. I was like, wow, I could do this and I could take it to people's homes and I could have people lined up and then I could do this and I could do that. I'll take it. Wrong. Because after I bought the laser and after I paid for it, all of those ways that I thought that I was going to use it, many of them did not pan out. So after that first fiasco with the laser, where I thought these visions of sugar plums, but none of them came into fruition, when I considered buying another piece of expensive equipment, even though I was being totally seduced by what the representative was selling me, I said, hey, I got a better idea. Let me get the patients lined up, booked with a deposit and a confirmed appointment, and then we'll talk about buying the laser. So that basically is what the senators would prefer if we had the money and then we spend it. So that was exciting, wasn't it? So I hope that by me bringing this up and discussing this hot topic in health and wealth, it kind of shows you the importance of incorporating politics, staying current with all of the current events, in addition to being a healthcare provider. Because remember, we are very smart people, and it is imperative for us to not only know what we are trained to know as our professional career, but know other things that are going on in the world that are relevant with regards to finance, business, and money. How will this really affect you? Some of the lawmakers are hypothesizing that if we do not have the money to pay this balance, guess who's going to pay it? Exactly. Your children and your grandchildren. So this is actually a big deal. And I will continue to bring during our wealth and health segment different topics that are going on in current day in the news. And I invite you to come on and discuss some of these topics or bring others, and let's gain literacy to make us brighter and more outstanding healthcare providers. If discussing topics like this is something that resonates with you and you're just feeling all warm and fuzzy inside, you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to hear what she's going to talk about next time. Be sure to subscribe, click the little bell notification so that you'll know when I post another video. Leave a comment and maybe a thumbs up and tell your friends. I'm Dr. Tess Washington. Thank you so much for tuning in to Tess MD TV, and we'll see you with our next video. Take care.